Hello, I'm Artesha Moore, President and CEO of Association Forum, and today I have with me Blanca Campos, and I want Blanca to introduce herself, and then we'll get into some questions for her about what Hispanic Heritage Month means to her. But first, Blanca, introduce yourself.
Thank you so much for having me. My name is Blanca Campos. I am the CEO at the Community Behavioral Healthcare Association, or CBHA for short. We are the largest trade association for safety net mental health and substance use providers in Illinois. Our members offer full continuums of behavioral health services to children, youth, adults, and families in communities across our state.
Blanca, thank you for that introduction. One of the questions that I always ask, kind of starting in, and I'm interested about really, is how did you get into association management?
It's a very interesting story. I actually fell into it, and I'm very happy it happened. I was working for a political campaign. The person who I was working for did not win, but was a small business owner, and I come from a small business background. So he decided to start at that time a association for small business owners where we would advocate for the needs of this community, of this group. So that's how it started. That was my introduction. I loved it. I have a passion for advocacy. So for the past 6 years, I've been working for my current association, which I absolutely love as well. I think it's very important to highlight and to, as we've been discussing, normalize issues of behavioral health within all communities, but especially communities of color who, sometimes still face stigma around this topic. And normalizing and ensuring that people know that there are resources out there, and us advocating for increasing access to those very essential services is part of what I do and what I absolutely love to do.
And I can see the glow that comes from you when you talk about it, and it's important. So today, and you really touched on, in your industry, how representation matters. And so I have a question for you. And when I think about what this month is, what does Hispanic Heritage Month mean to you?
Well, Hispanic Heritage Month means a lot of things, right? I think it's very important to celebrate and to share with others our rich culture and reflect on the many ways our community has shaped and strengthened the fabric of our country, but also on a personal level, right? I come from immigrant parents. So this is also a reminder of the sacrifices my parents have made to give me access to better opportunities. So this really is a time of celebration, reflection, and a whole lot of gratitude.
Thank you for that. And I love how you ended with the piece around gratitude. And really also the celebration piece. Yeah. As we look at the history and the importance, it's also to celebrate and amplify where we are and where we're going, right? And so your story about stumbling into association management, many of us did. Mm-hmm. But as I think about as a woman of color and as a leader, how can the association industry become more inclusive to the Latinx community, to its leaders?
I think, we have to be intentional about being inclusive, and that means creating environments where people feel genuinely heard and valued. And I think also, very importantly, creating opportunities for mentorship and growth as professionals and people. I know that has been critical for my career. So as new CEO, I think it is my responsibility as a Latinx professional to create those environments for others, for underrepresented communities. I also think it's very important to create awareness about the different career paths that associations offer. So if you have an interest in IT, government affairs, which is my realm, HR, marketing, there are career paths within the association industry that allow you to pursue, your passions. So I think, as a Latinx professional in the association industry, I think there's a lot of opportunity for folks like me to spread that message. And I know we do it through, working with Association Forum and other platforms to ensure that, hey, this is an opportunity. You can work in association industry and do whatever it is that you want to do within your career, but also have this broader impact, right? Because our associations are very mission focused. We do so much to help people across our state, across our country. But there is opportunity there. And again, sort of seeing like, hey, we have Latinos working in an association forum. We have Latinos working in my association, right? Community Behavioral Healthcare Association. I think that's very important. Growing up, I think I wanted to be a teacher because the only professionals I met were teachers, right? So I think it's so important. If I would have met an attorney, if I would have met someone within the association industry, that would have been something that I would have aspired to as a child, but I didn't see that. Social workers, I work with a lot of social workers, a lot of clinical professional counselors, and I think their work is so fascinating, and really they save lives. But I wasn't exposed to that. So my trajectory was different, and I'm actually very happy where I landed. And there's a purpose for where I'm at. But I think that exposure and creating that awareness is very key for communities of color, for Latinx young people.
And I really like what you said, because when others watch this video, the part about functional career paths within associations, I love how you said that. Because I think that there's some of us that drink, the potion and said, okay, the magic of this, Delft scholars, and we went on to get CAEs and certifications and those things. But then there's others that just want to do good work and make good money and take care of their family. And you know what? Our industry does that.
Exactly.
Right. As well as align it for the greater good. Right. So Blanca, thank you for saying that, because I want to continue. That's my grand purpose. For me, is to bring the masses to our industry and unleash their unique talents, right? For that. And so my last question for you, I'm always interested in this. I'm a fan of superheroes. I'm an Avengers kind of girl. And so I always like to understand from your perspective, who do you look up to? Who do you admire? Like, who are your heroes?
So I'm so lucky and blessed that I come from a family of very strong women, very caring women. So my mom, my sister, my aunties. I really, on a personal level, any professional level, look up to them. And I think I'm very blessed to be where I'm at right now. I think I work with professionals that I admire, that I look up to, not just because of the work that they do on a daily basis, but just how they do the work. They do it with so much heart. They do it with kindness. So I'm extremely lucky to and blessed and humbled to be able to work with the folks that I work with. So I get to work with people who are mission driven, who have devoted their professional careers to providing care to the most vulnerable among us. So I look up to them, and what they do inspires me every single day. And I feel so lucky and so blessed to be able to do this work.
If someone were to ask me the same question, you just gave my answer for what I do every day by working with people like you.
Yes.
I'm inspired by the comments and things that you said. And as I've come to Association Forum, this community every day, it's like a blessing. I do get paid, but it's like a payment just to be with the people. So thank you for spending this time with us today. And thank you for sharing this. I hope it inspires someone, because it inspired me.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.